Oh, this is the S70?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's it going, guys? Spec Your Production here, and right in front of me, as you can see, is this beautiful 1986 Volvo 240. I'll start off with a quick walk around. Excuse the music in the background if it's able to be heard. There's just people around, so they're listening to music. Anyways, so this thing is honestly so beautiful. And this particular car right here is owned by one of my buddies. And he's actually the second owner of the vehicle. And prior to him, there was only, of course, one owner. And yeah, so it's a quick walk around. I'll show you guys the interior. What can I say? I've actually always loved these, and they're actually honestly really sick. So I'll show you guys the keys here because this is basically a two-owner car, and the previous owner had it for pretty much most of its lifetime. My friend only got it like I think last year or 2 years ago. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, it's got all the keys on it right here. So these ones right here are the original, or like the keys that you use, and one of them is for the trunk, and one of them is for the to start the engine, of course. And the square ones over here, they are valet keys. So basically what they are, one's of course to start the engine, and the other is to open the trunk. Or actually, basically the valet keys, and it restricts you from opening the trunk and the glove box, which I'll show you guys in a second, because that's a pretty interesting part too. And yeah, and it's also got the original CAA keychain that came with the car with like the roadside assistance. Anyways, let's get into the interior real quick, because this is also a really nice part. Let's open it up. Show you guys the door card first. Nice, plain and simple. Cranking windows. And look at that. Such a beautiful interior. Matches the outside, of course. So, let's get inside for a sec. So, starting off, of course, you got the gauge cluster. Funny thing about this gauge cluster, it actually does not have a tachometer. What this is right here is actually a clock, which is rather interesting, I find. As you can see also, it's got pretty much just under 200,000 kilometers, which is pretty sick. Yeah. Over here, the center console area, you got the radio up here, original radio as well. And just to point out, everything on this car is original, except for one little thing, which I'll show you guys in a second. Also keep in mind, this car doesn't have air conditioning. What you see here is basically a heater for the winter. You got a defroster here. You got your signal lights here, warning lights, hazard lights. You got a couple controls here, which is sick. This one right here is an automatic, which was actually an option. It was a more expensive option. And yeah, and right here is where the AC should have been. So, as you can see, no little armrest blocks. I forgot what they're called for a second. And these right here are where you actually put the seat belts in, and it looks like I think I've closed on it. There it is. This is where you would put the seat belt in. I'll demonstrate right now using one hand. So they're basically mounted onto the center thing here. I'm gonna go with that. Put this back up. And yeah, you got arm brake here, and for 1986, which I find is really sick, it's got heated seats, which actually do work, as a matter of fact. And that's pretty much it for the dash. And yeah, I'll show you guys the actually, let me show you guys from here. So the glove box You have to turn it right here. It locks, of course. It's actually got the original books right here. I got the owner's manual, which is pretty sick. Let's put that back here. And so as you can clearly see, there are no cup holders, but you do get these. These are basically where you could put your cups in, but I mean, there's no depth, so if you're driving, don't put your cups on here. And another cool feature that it has, which is really sick, it's a double feature basically, is you got a little vanity mirror right here, which I find is really cool. And they utilize the space to put a little cup holder spot, which is really, really sick. Let's close that. And let me take you guys to the back. So the back, actually, since this vehicle is pretty much one owner before my friend bought it, in the back, nobody really ever sat back here. So, door card right here, which is actually really sick. So whoever sat here first basically experienced the back seat for the first time since pretty much brand new, since like 1986. Yeah, so you got a little cubby right here. Here are the door handles. Basically, you do is just you slide them back and you open the door. Of course, you got crank windows, and that's the max that they can go. Here's the back right here. You got a huge sort of like indent here, so a little storage space, which is really nice. You got a little center armrest here, very, very nice. And yeah, right here is a little ski hatch, which is cool. I think there's some sort of, maybe I think that's a subwoofer or something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Actually, I don't think it had a subwoofer back in the day. Not entirely sure. Well, we'll see what's in the trunk in a second. As you can see, paint is pretty much immaculate. We just cleaned the car as well, if you saw by the starting shots. Some rust here and there, but for 1986, this car is pretty sick. Pretty good condition as well. Opening the trunk. As you can see, I gotta hold the trunk because it's gonna fall on me. You got the spare tire right here, and yeah, that's the ski hatch right there. So as you can see, there's nothing there, and you could just open it and put stuff through here. Got more cubby space down here. So there's actually a little light right here, so we can illuminate the trunk bay. And right here, that's stored. I gotta hold it with my head, the trunk. Anyways, right down here is where the toolkit is stored, the original toolkit as well, which is pretty cool. And let's go on to here real quick. But I'm just gonna put down. There we go. Okay, so all right. So right here, as you can see, is the fuel tank here, and the gas cap is actually closed on a key. And the way my buddy has it, I guess, or I guess it was like that in the first place. Of course, not from factory, but basically, you open the trunk, you have the little key here, and you would unlock the gas cap with this key, which is actually a pretty cool idea. That means you don't have to carry this key around. Let's put it back here, and yeah, so okay, that's closed. Right here is the engine bay, as you can see. Now, I'm not entirely sure what exact engine this is, but this is a 4-cylinder engine. That I know for sure. I don't know the exact displacement or anything. As you can see, most of this is stock. Actually, no, I say most. It's actually all stock, all from factory. Of course, newer parts or something like that. But yeah, basically stock. Now, the only thing that's not stock, which I find very funny on this vehicle, is this right here. And what this is a little service light, if I can turn it on. And it's the most useless service light in the world, literally, because I don't know who installed this, but it's pointing towards the hood. It's not even pointing downwards, if you can see. Literally, just not even onto the hood. So, pointless mod, but it is what it is. And yeah, pretty much that's really it. As you can see, very, very clean engine bay. Well, of course, there's like some soot here and there or something like that, but for 1986 and 200,000 kilometers, this is respectable. So let's close it. All right, so now I'm going to be driving the Volvo 240. Oh, that's that one. Okay, there we go. So the oldest car to date that I've actually driven was a 1997 or 1987, I don't remember correctly, Mercedes 190E, and it was the 2.6 liter inline six. So this thing is a 4-cylinder, possibly the 2 liter or the 2.4 liter, not sure entirely. Thing's pretty soft, I find. Got the old 4-cylinder engine sound, which is pretty sick. So even though this is a 4-cylinder, I feel like this engine itself, even though it's very probably like a lot lower on power compared to like today's 4-cylinders, I feel like this, of course, would have a lot. Well, of course, it has a lot more character than any 4-cylinder today. And yeah. All right. Four-way intersection here. Visibility on this car is actually really good. Of course, most old cars don't have tint on them, so you pretty much have, it's pretty much like a fishbowl, so you can see it out of anything. They're clear over here. Steering feels nice. Very soft, a lot like a modern car as well. Throttle response is also pretty good too. Station. All right, and there we go. Put it into park. And yeah, this drives pretty well, I find. Of course, for a pretty much. Oh, that's the horn. That's very interesting. Sounds really funny. Yeah, anyways, that was driving the 1986 Volvo 240. Yeah, let's get on to the review. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. I find this thing very cool. It's actually my first time actually ever getting up close to one. And actually like getting to sit in it and of course drive it. Yeah, basically let me know what you guys think of this gem, and I'll be looking in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you guys on my next videos. Peace.